Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Logic. I am going a little bit early here. My wife did not want to cook, so we're going out to dinner, late plans, but nonetheless, we are in here today. Now, I want to make sure, give me 1 second here. I'm still setting up, so this is in tribute of my wife. But I just want to make sure I have everything set up for you guys appropriately so we can jump right into the news. And there's some very exciting news today that I just want to inform you guys about. And when I say exciting, it doesn't necessarily mean good news. We have a lot of news that's going on here. Give me 1 second. I know right now your screens are black, but we're going to jump right into this. So the federal immigration authorities have attainted Mohammed Khalil. He is a Palestinian graduate student and prominent leader of the anti-Israel protests at Columbia University, one of the Ivy League schools here. Now, Khalil was taken into custody at his university residence after the State Department revoked both his student visa and his green card, as they should. Despite his status as a permanent resident, this move aligns with President Donald Trump's commitment to deport international students involved in such protests. Again, he had fair warning that he will get deported if he were to be involved in these sorts of protests and these anti-Israel protests, because again, I'm not saying that the American people are, but our government, which means our country, are allies with Israel. So that is why this statement has been made. Now, Khalil, who had been active as a student negotiator, now faces detention in New Jersey. The Trump administration previously announced cutting $400 million in grants to Columbia University. It must have a very large Muslim, Palestinian, Middle Eastern population. Now, citing the school's failure to address anti-Semitism, Khalil perceives his arrest as retaliatory action aimed at suppressing pro-Palestinian views on campus. I don't know the college rules, but I don't know if you can protest on college campuses. They've been doing that if I can recall, since the 70s. So I think that it's legal or within your rights to do so. But again, I don't necessarily know. So that's why I'm stating that. But again, he had to know that his green card, his permanent residency would be at fault if he were to engage in such activities. So he called their bluff. And when it comes to this new crackdown on illegal immigration and legal immigration and the certain jurisdictions that it falls in, they're definitely cracking down. So it's only fitting that we turn to the Middle East, because tensions have escalated as Israel has cut off the electricity to Gaza. I jumped ahead. Give me a second. Israel has cut off the electricity to Gaza. And this action has severely impacted a water plant responsible for producing drinking water, drawing sharp criticism from Hamas, which labeled it as part of a starvation policy. Israel's earlier suspension of goods supplies to Gaza, aiming to pressure Hamas into extending the first phase of their ceasefire negotiations. Israel demands the release of half of the remaining hostages held by Hamas. Hamas is punishing, and they're pushing for the next phase of negotiations, calling for the release of all hostages. Now, the withdrawal of Israeli forces and a lasting peace, the electricity cut off is expected to severely reduce Gaza's water production capabilities, further exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. Now, the UN has come in and they're trying to negotiate. They're trying to put Israel up on charges with the International Criminal Court. This is one of those volatile questions I want to ask you guys. Who do you side with? Do you believe Israel was within their rights, or was right for Israel to cut off the electricity? So now those people in Gaza don't have potable drinking water. They don't have, drinking water and electricity. So I don't know how they're going to either cook food, build fires, anything. I don't know. Don't forget, we live in the modern world. So my question, do you side with Israel stating they had the right to do so, or this was a necessary measure to see how far Hamas will go, how many of their people they will let die before they release half of these hostages? Or are you going to take the side of the Gazians, Hamas, the Palestinians that live in that area, and dictate that this is inhumane? And the world was right when a lot of different sects, different countries from around the world were stating that Israel was literally occupying Gaza, that Israel was literally occupying Palestine. See, we keep forgetting that Gaza is a portion of Palestine or Palestine, depending on where you are in the world. They pronounce it very differently, but nonetheless, they cut off their drinking water. They cut off their electricity. Thus, they don't have drinking water. Because President Donald Trump has announced his desire for the U.S. to take control of the Gaza Strip. And don't forget, I told you guys just the other day that the EU has now joined together in stating that they will accept the Arab new reconstruction plan for Gaza. So it's like there's a race for Gaza here for whatever apparent reason. Hopefully that the focus is on eliminating all of the terrorist groups in that region. Have you ever thought about, we just continue to talk about Israel against Hamas, but even though Israel is operating inside of Palestine, and a lot of thousands, tens of thousands of innocent Palestinians has been killed. Should I go here? I may get into a little bit of trouble. That's okay. It reminds me when I went to war and we were hunting the Taliban. Did innocent Iraqis get killed? Yes, they did. Some people have all certain sayings like that's the fallout of war. That's the casualties of war. Innocent people always get killed. But what happens when it comes to your doorstep? Would you have a change of tune? Would the music sound different? Do I know the right thing to do in this situation? Absolutely not. Not a negotiator, not a world leader, not a politician. Does it seem and feel and look wrong to you? On different aspects, on both sides. And here's the thing about me being very sensible. I'm very involved and understand, the depiction and the perplexity of the situation, of the humanitarian efforts that people have been trying to save a lot of the Palestinians, especially in that area. But I also see it from the side of a threat by the way of Hamas, and how all terrorist groups that are just killing people senselessly, and maybe for a cause they deem right or righteous, they should be eradicated from the face of the earth. So, once again, I'm a man torn on the thoughts I have dealing with this situation. Benjamin Netanyahu, and what he has done, he has threatened to resume fighting in Gaza if Hamas doesn't release more hostages by a specified deadline. But I'll move on, because did you know that President Trump sent a letter to Iran basically want to negotiate? First thing that came to my mind is like, President Trump, we don't negotiate with terrorists. But then if you take one step back, are all the Iranian citizens terrorists? Absolutely not. Are there any Iranians here in America who became American citizens? Absolutely yes. So Trump extended his hand to have these nuclear conversations, nuclear energy, nuclear bombs, who knows, to have these conversations. And the Iranian leader said, no, absolutely not. We're not friends of America. We won't become friends of America. You want to know why? Now, again, it's a great gesture by the president, but again, I feel as though sometimes as Americans, are we too conceited? Are we too puffed up in the chest? Do we believe that we're just better than everybody because we are Americans or we live in America? Do we believe that? Are we arrogant to a certain degree? Because, I always tout that America is the most powerful country in the world. That's statistical. That's why I say that. We are the most powerful. But that don't mean we're better. And that don't mean we're smarter. I would like to believe we are, but again, you can argue that. But the Iranian leader, in my opinion, and this is my conjecture on it, that he knows that we're going to talk about taking his nuclear power. He said, United States of America is the most powerful country in the world. We have what we know as an equalizer, because with all of their vast power, how big their country is, they're really self-sustained. They can feed themselves. They can clothe themselves. America has every industry. Why would I allow them to take the only weapon that I know they will not come and invade Iran? I get it. He's using his nuclear prowess. He's using his nuclear position to defend Iran against America. It's one of the few places that we haven't demolished in the Middle East yet. And just to think, people will have the argument that this is political, this is religious, this is about economics. Now, whether you read the Holy Quran or the Holy Bible, this is very religious. Ever since President Trump has backed away from Ukraine, and he is not even providing any support, President Vladimir Putin has come out and started to have his Russian forces to attack Kursk in the Ukraine, further and extending their footprint in Ukraine. What I've been telling you guys, that's why I've kind of been given somewhat of a geography lesson, somewhat of a geography lesson. I guess it's a hard word for me to speak. And I was showing you how close in proximity Ukraine were to Poland, Belarus, and Romania, and how far inland that is, more so to Western Europe. That even though Russia is the largest country by landmass, they're humongous, they're enormous. Majority of their land is uninhabitable. That doesn't mean they have massive amounts of resources, though. Don't forget that Russia has been supplying Europe with natural gas for a very long time. So again, Russia and China, the other two most powerful countries in the world. People will rank it as America 1, China 2, Russia 3. And Russia and China are allies. So now that America has backed away because of the argument, the debate, the debauchery of President Zelensky while he was in the Oval Office meeting with President J.D. Vance and President Trump about signing a minerals deal, this is where we are today. China, China, China. I agree. I agree with China. China has a message for Trump. The U.S. won't stop its rise. We won't. The U.S. will not stop China's rise. China would do anything in this world to be number one. But we will do nothing to stop China rise. And what am I referring to? America will continue to rise. Some people say all great empires and kingdoms will fall. Not in my lifetime. And that's not taking a conceited or arrogant position. I just think that whatever is occurring in America right now, something, it's some people feel as a good change, some people feel as a bad change. I just feel as though it's the change that America needed to screw our heads on straight and start heading forward and start heading up. Because we're not going to stop China's rise, but we can continue to rise higher than China. Does that make any sense? Because again, we just look at economics over the course of hundreds of years. They used to have penny candies in America. Then there used to be 10-cent candies. Now you can't even buy those candies buy one unless you go to some sort of specialty store. So everything in the world has become more expensive. So we can continue to rise. DOGE has been making a big mess because they try to enter one of these government agencies, and it led to a physical standoff that spilled out in court. There has been a lot of things going on with DOGE behind the scenes here. And some people will say that, oh, just a bunch of liberals. They don't want their finances to be checked. But they faced a physical standoff by attempting to enter into a federal agency building that led to many other confrontations. Now, following the aggressive takeover attempt, DOGE is now facing lawsuits after involving U.S. Marshals to assert control of a government agency. So when this government agency didn't allow DOGE inside of the building, saying don't come in here, DOGE called the U.S. Marshals and physically had people so they can go in and do their work. Some people will state that America is imploding as we speak, that America is actually imploding and soon no longer will exist. That America is actually exploding from the inside, and that is because of the Trump administration. And I say that I don't know how any of us can make that assertion where this is the first time in history that America has really audited itself, has really took a long look in the mirror. I don't know how we can say these things. But nonetheless, they've been sued because the U.S. Marshal had to take over this government agency that sends money to African development countries. It's almost like this is a revenge tactic because the new South African president seems as though he's not playing any games down there. And he knows historically, the apartheid, he lived through the apartheid. All the things that South Africans have been through. Now, South Africa is over 90% melanated dark people, black people. And what a lot of the Western world is stating that the things they're doing in South Africa is discriminatory. I know what a lot of people that look like me are going to say. Good. But we have to look at things present day. The apartheid happened when? And it was with who? Now, the reclaiming of the land in South Africa, definitely needs to be executed very, very carefully. Because again, a lot of these people from the Netherlands, a lot of those Danes, a lot of those people, a lot of their ancestors came down to South Africa and colonized them. Now that the black people are back in charge, they're trying to rectify, a past atrocity. But they may be going about it. And again, this is only my opinion. I'm not telling South Africans what they should do. I am not telling South Africans what they should do, because then they're commenting like, well, you're a descendant of a slave in America. No, it's not about that. I'm just kind of looking at it because you don't want the entire world against you. That's all I'm stating. But here's my opinion because everybody gets their opinion. So here's mine. I understand the reclaiming of the land. Should it happen? I agree. Now, some people will say, well, the sins of the father. Yeah. A lot of times the sins of the father do fall to the son. The only thing I'm stating is that those people who wasn't part of the apartheid, they may have been children during the apartheid, but again, sins of their father. They should be adequately compensated. You see that? I'm not stating that you should not reclaim the land, but they should be adequately compensated. I know a lot of people are going to be against that. No, they had all the compensation. They took the land. They shouldn't get anything. It's stolen. Again, put yourself in their position. I know you're not. But if I'm just a white person living in South Africa, my father passed down 5 acres of farmland to me. And I know that I'm probably living better than the South Africans, but I will state out again, this is very cliche. I'm not racist. I don't treat black people discriminatory. And then you just come take my land and I have nowhere to go. You try to deport me to a white country. I'm not from that white country. I'm from South Africa. This is all I know. I know my ancestors are from Europe. Wait a minute. This sounds similar in an aspect. Black Americans. Look at that correlation. Now, granted, the ending is totally different than the beginning. So don't get me wrong. But I just wanted to make that connection because they should be compensating. They're not the ones who have done this. But again, and I think we already covered that. I do want to show you guys something very quickly. Another plane has crashed. What is going on? Another airplane has crashed. This piece of news I got out at the last minute there. I wish I can report exactly where it is. And here's a statement of the situation we're just talking about that Donald Trump released on Truth Social. South Africa is confiscating land. Good. And treating certain classes of people very poorly. Now that's bad. And what Donald Trump is referring to, and I love the fact that Donald Trump kept color. He kept color out of his message. He's becoming a really good politician. Now, Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan and actually said, white old men. He said that the reason why we're having all these issues in air traffic controlling is because they have fired a lot of the old white men who had all the skills. You mean to tell me in all these air traffic controllers who retired and who got fired, and that's the reason why we're having all these issues, you mean to tell me none of them were black old men, Asian old men, Hispanic old men? We've had people in America, again, America's a melting pot, for almost 100 years, these other groups of people, other than Native American, black and white. So I don't know what they're talking about. But I digress. Back on South Africa. It is a bad situation that the radical left media doesn't want to so much as mention what's going on in South Africa. A massive human rights violation at a minimum is happening for all to see. The United States won't stand for it. We will act. Also, I'll be cutting off all future funding to South Africa until a full investigation of this situation has been completed, and I agree. I agree with a lot what Trump said here, except the very first. It stated that they're confiscating land, and I'm like, good. They should be confiscating land. But when we started to get into the human rights violation of this taking their land without compensation, wait a minute. That reminds me of redlining, building parks, sinking of black towns, relocating black folk without compensation. Is it right? Absolutely not. I realize that in most regards, we're not really revengeful people, are we not? We just want peace. Black people just want peace. But again, you can only push us so far. But we're not a revengeful people. No one's trying to put together secret groups to take over America. No. That is why I believe that they should be compensated for the land that South Africa is taking from a lot of these white Boer farmers. He said that the United States will not stand for it. And he should cut off all funding to South Africa. He absolutely should. If they're doing human rights violations, he should absolutely cut it off. And the last thing that I agree with, and I'm glad he put this in here, that until a full investigation has been completed. That's actually something good to say. Now, I don't know how the investigation is going to turn out in the favor of South Africans or America or the defense of. Again, that's very subjective. The investigation is very subjective. But like I stated before, I do agree. I believe I had one more. I thought I had, and here's some other Democratic shills dancing.
I wanna talk about it, but I've been late for work. And if you say, wait a minute, do we have to stop this? We had one, but you didn't want that lady in office.
It's not a good look for us. Could you have got one white person in there? Could you at least got one Asian person in there? At least one Hispanic, Native American, Alaskan Native, somebody, please, that just look different. So the other day you had Jasmine Crockett come out with her two side dancers on a Kendrick Lamar beat. And I didn't want to play the music because of copyright. I'll play a little bit of it. But you have all these black faces dancing and would look like a congressional hall while you have a torn government. Well, it's not really torn, it's actually unified now because Republicans are controlling the presidency. But of course, all of these are Democrats. Please, 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 please. Black people are not the face of the Democratic Party. No, we're not. But they continue to do this to put us the face of it. No, no. You don't get to these positions and start having a dance off. What the fuck are we doing? Again, black people are not a monolith. I got it. We're very divided on a lot of our views and a lot of our perspective. But again, it still looks bad because it looks bad when other groups do it. But we keep doing it. Go to work. Do your job. Sign some papers. God damn.
Hostile government takeover. I wanna talk about.
What are we doing? And then they got these flaming guys at the end. You see this guy flaming at the end? What is that? I mean, you got to be really flexible and agile to do. See, you can tell but what are they? Okay, he is not Black American. Okay, the guy at the end, this is not a Black American. That's not a Black American haircut. Have you noticed most Black Americans, we either bald, clean shaven, goatee, nicely trimmed. That's a mop top. I don't know what that is. That's a mop top. I'm sorry. I'm calling it out. I can't do it. No. Okay. Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. He looks African. He is not a foundational Black American. I'm sorry, not with the mop top. I could be wrong. And I don't say that to be disparaging. I'm not saying it to be disparaging, but this is. Black people are going to return to the Republican Party. I said it. God damn it. You know, I've been holding off to say that statement for a very long time. Black Americans are going to join or rejoin rather the Republican Party. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Because again, I don't play the whole political game. I don't think I will ever publicly come out and say I'm a Republican or I have a conservative mind state. And I do also believe in humanitarian rights. Put those together. But man, what is this? Majority of Black Americans are going to rejoin the Republican Party, and it's because of stuff like this. Because whoever these people they're letting in office, they said, come to the Congressional Hall at this time, and we're going to do a practice dance of about a lady in office, that we're not ready for a lady in office. And we're going to get some nice looking Black women. She's nice looking. A lot of them are nice looking. Okay, hold on. Let me enjoy my Black woman for a second. She's nice looking. She's nice looking. Yeah. All of them are beautiful Black women. Now, and then we're going to get a couple of questionable males, and we're going to dance and come out lady in office. Then we have Barack Obama to tell Black men that we're being chauvinist pigs and we don't want a woman in office. I don't know Black men that think like that. Does Barack Obama know any Black men that think like that? Or does he know any Black men? If any of you stating that this is acceptable, then I know where your head is at. This is not about just having fun. This is a political stance that they're taking in a form of a musical. Why us all the damn time? Let the Democrats come out with kente cloth and take a kneel in Congress. Let them do that symbolism bull crap. Let's go handle business. You guys should be working on reparations, compensatory reparations for foundational Black Americans descendants of slaves. That's what you guys should at least be doing. Instead of saying defund the police, what about have oversight of the police? You see that? I don't think that the police should be defunded. I don't want total anarchy in my neighborhood. When I call the police, I want them to come quickly and to handle the situation correctly. All the race soldiers with badges, they should be out of the police department. All those racists with badges, I don't care what color, what creed, what demographic, they should be out of the police force. And we should not defund the police, but we should have oversight. And doubling down and tripling down on qualified immunity, no. Qualified immunity should be out of the door. When these situations that are very questionable, when I hear certain people on the right talking about, they need airtight qualified immunity because in situations of life and death, we're always going to take sides with a police officer. No, take away qualified immunity, let them get insurance, and let an investigation occur when they kill someone who is unarmed. When they kill someone in their back and they're running that way away from them, and they state they fear for their life. That's why qualified immunity should be wiped away. But no, instead of doing progressive, those social issues that Democrats always want to work on, no, they want to show out and they want to pop out and show in words. And this is what we were voting for. When you guys went out to the booth and you voted Democrat, this is what you was voting for. Now you say, you know what? I don't like Donald Trump, but some of the things that he's doing does make sense. I understand. Wait a minute, then he's going to hurt a lot of people because they're getting fired and they're letting DOGE in and da-da-da. I know you go back and forth with it. It is what it is. But this right here has to stop. If you guys would have watched the Democratic National Convention, it was a whole block party. They had Little John. They had a DJ in a blue suit. I mean, listen, this is the problem. This is the problem. We always want a party. It's time for business. We've been crying about inflation. We've been crying about grocery prices. We've been crying about we can't buy a home. This is why we can't buy homes. Because instead of working on the hard issues, And again, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not an independent. I don't affiliate myself with these political parties because this is what you get. You get lies on both sides and you get symbolism and showcasing on both sides. They just do it very differently. See, they get a couple of us, a couple of them, and we're dancing, we're bopping around, and we putting our hands up in the air like we just having a jam. We just having a great time. Then on the right side of the house, they go out to their farms and they just shoot guns and like, vote for me. It's both the same thing to me. They're both showcasing this. My Lord. We dancing, they shooting. Who about business? Nobody. And who is at fault at the end of the day? The American people. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a Democrat because of X, Y, and Z. You know why you're a Democrat. That's fine. This is what your Democrats are doing. Did you see the other video when Jasmine Crockett was dancing off the Kendrick Lamar beat? Everybody's just dancing. Where are the white Democrats at? Please, can we put a video of them doing something silly? I'm not a Democrat, but damn, there's a lot of black people just dancing and not signing legislation. You're not proposing bills. At least let them deny it. At least let it get stuck in the Senate or in the House, or let it reach the president's desk and never get signed. But do something. Stop dancing. Donald Trump hasn't even reached his first 100 days, and he has signed so much legislation. He has signed so many executive orders now. A lot of it is getting stopped on the judiciary level. A lot of the judges are halting it, but he's just signing away. He's trying to get things done. MD Williams says, this is a freaking minstrel show, and I agree. So true. Get into business. So again, a lot of black Americans are going to become Republicans. You know why? Because Republicans right now, the conservative mindset, which majority of a lot of black people already have, you're going to get out of this whole party stuff, this whole hot girl summer and jock winter, right? You know, the jocks, they tend to get a lot of good looking women during the winter because people not be going out that much. So they can hold them girls down during the winter. And then during the summer, it's hot girl summer again. Everybody at the beach party. But this is what we've got for the past 4 years. And it's continued to fight. If the Democrats don't change their strategy, they're done. They're done. J.D. Vance will be the next president in 2028. Mark my words. Mark my words. If the Democrats do not change their strategy of dancing and popping out and showing people, and again, all these people who are on social media, OnlyFans, whoever they're getting their money in the gig economy, they're going to look at the Democratic Party like, no, they're going to put all these restrictions. They're going to put censorship laws. Yeah. Who you think OnlyFans models are going to vote for? The Republicans. Now, there's only one reason why the OnlyFans models may not vote for Republicans. They may shut down my OnlyFans. But OnlyFans is a business. So you can be torn, and you can look at it from the liberal side. Like, well, they're not going to shut it down because you're making a fool of yourself by whoring yourself out on OnlyFans. Whatever you're doing. I don't know if you lathering yourself up with lotion and oil. I don't know. But however they get their money. But this is a form of business. So again, if they create their LLC on OnlyFans and work as a contractor, they can be very, very profitable. But what are these people doing? What happened to the American dream? What happened to the American dream? Let me tell you guys something. Do you guys recall what America was about? Do anyone recall what America was about? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretch refuse of your teeming shore. Send these the homeless tempest toast to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Remember that when America, like, give me your tired, give me your poor? Anyone remember those words? Now, America has now not only developed, but has really taken a tone for its new saying. There's no more give me your tie, give me your poor. You guys want to know what the new saying is? Keep your tired, keep your poor, your desperate masses at your own shore. No huddle crowds, no temple toes. The golden door is chained and locked. Bring money, skills, or powerful fame, or turn your ship back whence they came. Bars. That is what Americans turning into be. I'll go even one better for you guys. I got one more little poem here. What about instead of, let's be prosperous, as Donald Trump has created a 5 million golden card visa. What if it was more like this? Keep your tired, keep your poor. Nah, let's change it. Send me your rich, your flashy elite, your private jets and penthouse suites, billionaires yearning for tax-free shores, CEOs knocking at opulent doors. Bring your wealth, your stocks and fame. My golden gates adore your name. Forget the tired, dismiss the poor. I welcome yachts forevermore. That is the new American dream. There was a time where we give us your poor, your homeless, your wretched, your downtrodden. Why isn't America there anymore? Because the only reason why America has adopted that poem is because at a time, America was this vast country that you wouldn't see people for days if you walked across it. You wouldn't see people for days. It's like you're driving, you know how you guys drive in the country and you don't see another car for a couple of hours. You're like, wow. Think about back then when America wasn't as populated. That saying was only adopted to populate America. America is now populated. We have over 340 million people. We are populated. So the things that we once held true to, we don't. No. Give me your tired. Give me your poor. Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest toast to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. You can keep your tired. You can keep your poor. Your desperate masses at your own shore. No huddle crowds, no temple toast. The golden door is chained and locked. Bring money, skills, or powerful fame, or turn your ships back whence they came. Send me your rich, your flashy elite, your private jets and penthouse suites, billionaires yearning for tax-free shores, CEOs knocking at opulent doors. Bring your wealth, your stocks and fame. My golden gates adore your name. Forget the tired, dismiss the poor. I welcome yachts forevermore. This is Black Logic.